Hi, everyone. Paul Akers, host of the American Innovator. You know, the innovative spirit is alive and well, and everywhere I travel around the world, I bring back ideas and creativity to share with my audience to continuously improve and change the way we live. Welcome to the American Innovator. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the American Innovator. We're on part 2 of how to make manufacturing sexy with Karin Lindner from Toronto, Canada. Karin is originally from Austria, and she's written a great book on how to make manufacturing more attractive, particularly to the younger culture coming up. And we're going to hear more of that in part 2. Let's continue right now.
You can really, but if you learn to be in control, you run with the fear. It can be something that is actually really exciting.
Right.
But for most people, it holds them down.
So again, I'm going to push you. What's a tool to get somebody to overcome? So I'm a supervisor and I'm intimidated by Bob because I think Bob and Mary might know a little bit more about running the division than me because I was promoted into the division. They've been in a division for 10 years. How do I overcome that fear and allow Bob and Mary to shine without feeling like they're outshining me?
Working on confidence, for example, like really making them more aware. What do they really want from their position? Some of the people don't even want to be in the position. They just got somehow pushed into it because they were a great worker.
They were competent in a skill, but not necessarily competent in leading.
That's right.
I've done that many times to people in my own company. I promoted them to leaders when they really didn't want to be leaders. They just wanted to be really competent technicians.
That's right.
I've made this mistake.
So first of all, it's very important to find out what they want.
Right.
And asking them, so what do you want? What do you want from your job? Do you like your job?
Right.
Like asking them. And, you know, in my role, obviously, the main role is to build trust with the people so that they open up. And I tell you, they tell me everything.
Right.
They start telling me what they are afraid of. They say, if I act this way, you know, I cannot act this way because then, you know, my production manager doesn't like it.
Right.
And all of that. So basically, like how to overcome this fear is helping them to build confidence.
Okay.
For example, I give them an exercise where this is obviously different for every individual, but some people may say to me, you know what? I feel I'm really young. I got promoted in this position, but I don't have enough knowledge.
Okay.
So to really make them repeat on a daily basis, I have a lot of knowledge and wisdom to share.
Right.
And really, not only once, like 10 times in front of the mirror.
Right.
And I give them certain sentences and say, do and practice this on a daily basis. And I have people, they put it in the mirror on their car because that's what I tell them to do.
Right.
Pick a couple of statements and repeat it over and over again because our brain is like a computer and the input is our choice.
Absolutely.
But the average person has about 60,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of those thoughts tend to be negative.
Yeah, interesting. Another one of my favorite quotes is, all of us have negative thoughts, every one of us. But the key is when you take a negative thought and you turn it into a positive thought. And if you become proficient at doing that, all of a sudden you're not being directed by all this negativity that we could so easily conjure up in our brain.
Absolutely. And, you know, I practice this with myself on a daily basis. There are things that bring you totally down. And then I'm like, wait a minute, Karin, does this thought serve you right now? And another great tool is to put a rubber band around your wrist, especially for very negative people.
Yeah.
And I give them a rubber band and I say, every time you catch yourself thinking negative, then snap yourself out of it with the rubber band. So this is
that is a very good one, actually.
Yeah. So this is an NLP technique, neuro-linguistic programming.
Yes, I love it. Tony Robbins, big time.
That's right. That's right. So you can actually create awareness just by snapping yourself. At the beginning, you may have a very red wrist, but it serves the purpose. And people become more aware how they think and how they speak. That's a big one.
So in your one of the chapters, how did we get into this mess? How did we get into this mess where manufacturing is not very attractive? We haven't got people that are engaged in the process. What happened?
Well, to be honest with you, I think not enough inspiring leaders, and then the pressure of living by the stock market on a daily basis, and
Yeah.
just numbers, and I can tell every single person the numbers will come if you have the people on board.
Amen. I agree completely. The numbers are a byproduct of excellence, a byproduct of leadership excellence. So what you just said was, at the end of the day, we don't have inspiring leaders because leaders are driven by numbers instead of by inspiring people. And when you
That's right.
inspire people, you have fantastic numbers. They've missed the link between those two.
But you know what? I feel for those people because people in corporate environments, and I have been one of them, they basically live in a bubble.
Right.
You don't see what's going on outside anymore. And what I find really disheartening is that people forget the values that they once held.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had one guy telling me, he's like, Karin, we are expected to lie and to cheat, otherwise you won't get ahead in this business. And for
That is
me,
staggering.
yes, yes,
That
and
is
it shouldn't
staggering.
it shouldn't be like this. And when I look at the workforce, I honestly believe we shouldn't even call the workforce. We should call it changing force,
Hmm.
because those are the people who make things happen.
Okay.
And the difference, if they buy into a message or not, is the way how we communicate. So either they buy into it or they buy not into it. So basically, leaders are not the heroes. The heroes are the people on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly like you said at the beginning of our conversation. Those are the people that make it happen. They produce a quality product and get it out of the
Right.
door.
That's where all the value's added on the shop
That's right.
floor. So I'm curious, did you read Jim Collins' book, Good to Great?
Yes.
Yeah. So I noticed that one of your chapters here is what should manufacturers stop doing? Because Jim Collins makes a very big point about having a stop doing list instead of a doing list, a stop doing list. So what is it that manufacturers should stop doing?
Well, I believe they should stop looking for shortcuts and just band-aid solutions, like just the
Right.
flavor of the month. Whatever you choose something and stick with it for a certain period of time, because nothing creates change if you only do it for a month or two.
Right.
And then
Not and lasting change. Yes, it might create change but we all want lasting change. We all want to wake up when we're 60 years old and say, "Hey, I did it right. I've got money in the bank. I've got security. I can live this next chapter of my life." That all happens because you have a long-term investment, or we call it the long dollar instead of the short dollar. You're not looking for the short buck. You're looking for the
Yes,
long-term dollar, the one that you invest in over and over again. It matures and pays back a dividend.
absolutely.
Yeah. So in other words, we're short term. We're always looking for the short term. Forget about that.
Yeah, it's human nature though, right?
Yeah, it is.
Why
But
invest
for
more
me,
time
for me,
into
it's easy because my dad taught me at an early age to always look long term. My dad, for instance, the way my dad taught it to me was he taught me to invest in real estate. He taught me that if I bought a house for every year I was married, and I was consistent about that, that I would have a portfolio that would have all these rental properties in it that I could then draw an income on. Now, did I make money for the first 10 years? No. Not only did I not make money, I lost a ton of money because I was always investing, fixing them up. But after 10 years, those investments began to mature and started paying back. And every year that transpires, it pays back more because the principals pay down more, right? And before long, they're paid off, and I get 100% of the revenue from that, less the government, mind you. And it's pretty remarkable. But that's how I learn long term. So when I see someone try to give me something short term, it actually repulses me. I say, it can't be. It's a lie. I'm not going to go there. But most
Yeah,
people don't think that way.
yeah, it's true. It's true.
But the question is, again, Can we change the mindset of the current leaders, or do we need to focus on the young people and raise up a whole new crop that thinks differently? What's the purpose? What's the emphasis behind your book? Changing or getting the young people the message to, or changing the existing leadership?
You know what? There are existing leaders out there. They just don't know any better. And that I see it as my job to create awareness.
Right.
And I don't think that some of them are not willing to change. Some of them, or if you are a really old school manager who always lived the directory leadership style and, like in the communist system, you do what I tell you to do, no questions asked.
Right.
Those guys won't change anymore. They probably also won't see a lot of value in my message.
Right.
But they are the people my age, middle-aged managers.
Right.
They don't know any better, and I think they are willing to learn and to adopt something different. And then for sure our young people. Like, I think many times we don't really lead but with a good example and show them what could be, and but we complain about our young people, and I don't like that, to be honest.
Right. Now, in chapter 12, it says why women should play a valuable role in manufacturing. Why?
Because there is a tremendous, there are so many people, so many women in the workforce, and not a lot of them are in the manufacturing industry.
Okay.
And to give you one just recent example, I went to an engineering company here in Ontario and asked for the washroom. And they sent me to the handicapped washroom because they don't have a washroom for women. And this is not really inviting.
Wow.
And I mean, this seems to be really small now. But to be honest with you, I can use this as a metaphor. How welcome are women really in the industry? And I believe women would change a lot when it comes to language.
Right.
And not that, if you would only have women, that's not good either. But a good mix between men and women
right.
would create something really, really great.
Yeah, now I'm curious. I'm wondering what you're going to say when I tell you this. So half of our workforce is women and half of them are men. And I'm curious, is this wrong or right that I do this? So we had pizza today at our company for all of our people that had birthdays. We celebrate all of our birthdays all the time. We usually have 4 or 5 birthdays a week. So we have a big party and we do all that. So everybody came in. We had all the pizzas out. They got them. We have a great big break table. But we don't have a table big enough for the whole team to sit down at. We have enough room for half the team to sit down at. And I always tell the men, hey, if there is a woman standing, you need to get up. I mean, you need to get up and let the women sit down. And so all of our men always stand up and let the women sit down. Chauvinist, wrong, right? How is that wrong? How do you feel about that?
No, I like that. You know what? I'm European. I think that's very gentleman-like.
Good. Okay.
And I think this is nice. It just shows respect to the women. You sit down.
And that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm also trying to train up the young people who really haven't been taught to do that with women. And I think it's wrong that they don't understand you need to pay them respect. I mean, they're amazing. And we treat our women incredible. We love them. And so that's what we do. Another thing we do, this is kind of crazy. I'm wondering, you're really going to think I'm nuts when I tell you this. So we have 5 bathrooms. They're all immaculate. And the men always put the toilet seat down. Our toilet seat is never up. It is mandatory that we do that.
You know what? A lot of women watching this video now, they will cheer.
Oh, cool.
Because this is something, women like to see, for sure.
Good. And on top of that, our bathrooms are sparkling clean always. Nobody ever leaves a mess because it should be a nice place to visit, not like, oh, gosh, I got to go to the bathroom. But particularly we do that for women. And I like that we do that. I like that we've developed that habit.
Yes. I mean, it's just mutual respect. And I mean, you asked me before, the main message in my book really is to bring respect to the workplace, because I think in many companies it's not there. And when we talk about lean, I always joke and I say there are too many tool heads out there, focusing on the tools. But when we look at TPS, it's built on 2 pillars. Kaizen.
Continuous improvement and respect for people.
That's right. But I tell you, most of the people don't know the second pillar.
Yeah.
They all focus on the continuous improvement, but lean shouldn't be mean, and for many people, it feels like that.
And not only is it not mean, but I just spoke yesterday in Chicago and I said lean, and the part that people miss so much is lean is all about people, period.
Yeah.
When Sakichi Toyota saw that his mother and his wife were on a loom, working on this loom, and every time the thread would break, it would damage the quilt they were making, and they'd have to stop and rethread the whole thing. Sakichi Toyota said, how do I create an automated loom that will stop instantly when the thread breaks so that the pain my mother and my wife have to go through does not exist? He was totally focused on the human element, on keeping them from the pain of making work difficult. He wasn't saying, how do I make more money?
Yes.
Where are the numbers? He was saying, how do I keep them from suffering? How do I make work more enjoyable? And it is all about people.
Yeah. People, and that they have pride in what they do. We really have to create a new generation of makers.
Absolutely. And so how long has the book been on the market?
A year now. And I actually just agreed yesterday to co-author another book.
Oh, awesome. Well,
yeah,
that's good. And
you gotta keep going, right?
Yeah. Oh, you have to. And what's the next book?
The next book will be on vocational training and apprenticeship.
You better have a catchier title than that. I want something like,
No, I don't. We didn't discuss the title yet.
Okay. Well, I'm expecting a great title. That'll get my attention, right? I mean, we won't have any problem getting listeners to listen to this show. So the last question: can we manufacture passion?
Can we? Absolutely, we can. By doing the right. Yes.
Oh, good.
By doing the right things and inspiring people, people become passionate. I believe everybody wants to be part of something bigger. And if they see that, then people become passionate. And I'm sure when you tell me that 100% of your workforce is engaged, people must be passionate. People must be in there for creating something really great.
Right. Well, the reason they're passionate is because we train them how to think and how to solve problems. We give them the tools to be involved in the process and not be bystanders and observing it happen, but actually be a part of making it happen. I'll tell you a great story that I think you'll really appreciate. We have a young student from Western Washington University. His name is Ansel, and he's in the manufacturing program up in Western Washington University. And he's working at our place specifically to learn lean manufacturing. And so I went up to him about 2 weeks ago. I said, Ansel, how's it going? He said, yeah, it's going really well. And I said, why? He goes, wow, because I made an improvement yesterday and I got to sit back and watch 5 people work with my improvement. And I saw how much it benefited them. And he said, it was thrilling. It was thrilling. Where I've never heard anyone talk about manufacturing and say it's thrilling. It was thrilling to see me come up with an idea, implement it, and see it positively impact 5 other people. And I'm going, that is incredible.
That's the language we have to see, and not only talking about issues and problems all day long.
Right. It's funny. We're to the point in our company where, sure, we have issues and problems, but we have very small issues and very small problems. We do very little firefighting because we spend so much of our time improving everything that the problems that come around are very small and very shallow and very easy to correct because we're constantly taking care of all the details, right? We're not letting things build up.
And without them, it would be boring anyhow, right?
Absolutely. That's it's lots of fun to solve problems, but it's more fun to solve problems that are reasonable than to get into crisis mode, because crisis mode is you go home, you're worn out at the end of the day, and you're going, what the heck am I doing this for? This is nuts.
It's exhausting, yes.
So tell people how we can get your book.
Just Google how can we make manufacturing sexy. It's on Amazon, Kindle, or Google my name, Carico Solutions, and or Karin Lindner. And the actual book you only get by emailing me.
Okay, very good. And your email address is?
Is Karin with an I, Karin, at caricosolutions.com.
Excellent.
And Carico is like KARICO solutions.com.
Very good. And when are you going to have the audio available for people like me?
Oh, you like the audio, huh?
I live and die by audio. I listened to a book all the way home last night from Chicago in the plane.
I know. I have to do that.
You got a great voice. You have a sexy voice. You should do it. I mean, you have lots of listeners.
Yeah? You think so?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I know so. You do great. Okay?
Okay.
So make sure you get that audio. And if you want someone to do it with Greg Otterholtz, who did my audio book, he's done the second one now. He does a great job, and he's very lean, and he's very efficient, and he can probably work with you and get it done. Yeah. It's awesome. Okay? Well, Karin, thank you so much, and I've really enjoyed our time together, and way to go. Way to make life positive.
Thank you so much as well. Pleasure speaking to you.
Remember, life's an adventure. Be a part of the solution. Go out, learn, improve, change, think outside the box. We can change the way the world thinks. Be an innovator. I really got to stop getting myself in these situations. That's a leopard, and that's an elephant. Yes, and this is a cheetah.
Like, oh, I saw
Here,
that.
kitty, 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 kitty.
Cute. He wants to play.
Uh-oh. You got it.